NVIDIA, you liars. You said everything would be okay and that gamers would finally be able to buy GPUs. Looks like it was too good to be true. Hey, if you enjoy content like this, drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss another video. Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, welcome back to the channel and I hope you've all been doing well. NVIDIA's next quote-unquote mid-range graphics card is right around the corner, the RTX 3060. There's been a lot of anticipation surrounding the graphics card, especially from the majority of PC gamers, as value-oriented GPUs tend to sell the most due to offering the best performance per dollar. With the RTX 3060 having an MSRP of around $330 and performance rumored to be around that of a 2070 Super, there's no doubt that many were looking to get their hands on NVIDIA's next Ampere GPU. However, it's not just gamers who are interested in these GPUs. Previously, we discussed that NVIDIA had put a block on the RTX 3060, limiting its hash rate, making the GPU less desirable to cryptocurrency miners. This has been seen as a very controversial move, with many just calling this a PR stunt. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's wiping out the GPU stock, NVIDIA is making a sale from it either way. Oh, and of course you can't forget the scalpers who are just trying to make a quick buck by taking advantage of the shortage. Needless to say, there's been a lot of hype surrounding the RTX 3060, and with so much demand for it, this can only lead to one thing: higher prices. Officially, the RTX 3060 is set to hit store shelves on the 25th of February, however, that isn't stopping some distributors and retailers around the world from selling it early. Last week, when we talked about the GPU market and how bad things had gotten, I had talked about a European retailer known as ProShop who had already listed various RTX 3060 models and were selling them for well above MSRP. And it looks like more retailers will be joining them. This was reported from Cortex, who's a pretty well-known tech YouTuber and also runs their own site. They posted some pictures from a US retailer who had gotten a shipment of various AIB RTX 3060s, and the prices, I'm afraid, do not look good at all. From the pictures, we can see 5 different models. We've got 2 MSI models, the Gaming X and Ventus, which appear to have a price tag of around $514.99 and $484.99 respectively. We've also got a couple of Asus cards, with the Strix coming in at around $499 and the TUF being listed $10 cheaper at $489, with the Zotac Gaming coming in at around $499. These prices are just absolutely atrocious. It's really disappointing to see just how expensive GPUs have become and how much higher they're being listed for relative to MSRP. Now, don't get me wrong, when I mean MSRP, I'm not asking for every single GPU to be sold at that price, regardless of whatever model it is or who the AIB is. When NVIDIA states MSRP, they're referring to the reference spec. What AIBs do is they take the GPU and they can either choose to follow the reference spec and design a card that will be as close to MSRP as possible, or if they want, they can put on a much higher end cooler with other aesthetic features too and then bump up the price relatively. That's why you end up with various models from the same manufacturer, even though they're all RTX 3060s or 3070s at the end of the day and will perform marginally within one another. With models using larger heatsinks, triple fan coolers, RGB, and other added sensors, that will increase the associated costs, and therefore you will see a considerable markup. Although it's not going to be a huge markup, you can generally, expect to pay about $50, maybe $70 at most above the MSRP for that specific model. However, what we're seeing here is clearly not the effect of that, and this is simply due to the fact that demand has been so insanely high that graphics cards are being sold in price brackets where you would usually find higher models in. Everything has gone up. I mean, $499 for an RTX 3060, NVIDIA themselves had announced the RTX 3070 at $499, yet in reality we're being sold mid-range cards in that price range, and RTX 3070s are being sold for around $700 to $800. I mean, even at MSRP, I thought that cards like the 3060 and 3060 Ti were already somewhat overpriced, as generally the X60 class cards have been sold in the mid to high $200 range. I remember being able to buy GTX 960s for around $250 and X70 class cards would target the mid $300 mark. After Turing though, this all became pretty much messed up and the norm for mid-range became $400 to $500, which displeased me, but you have to learn to come to terms with it, as that's what the market dictates, and the only other alternative is AMD, who are also seeing jacking up prices. So whatever, I guess that's just what it comes down to. I didn't like it, but you have to put up with it either way. But now at this point, I just don't know what to tell you. If you need a new graphics card, you will have to pay top dollar for it. You're getting ripped off, and unfortunately, there's no way around it. You have no choice if you want to build a gaming PC. Circling back to what I said about the 3060 Ti, and that was a card I had reviewed day one. Despite me saying that I felt like 660 Canadian dollars MSRP was on the higher side, which, was confirmed by MSI, it was still delivering decent performance per dollar compared to a lot of the other options on the market. Now, that same GPU is being sold for a whopping 740 Canadian dollars at Canada Computers, who, by the way, have also been jacking up prices for all the other 3060 Ti models recently. This means that the RTX 3060 will now be sold at 3060 Ti prices in that mid $600 range. Last I checked, $330 converts to around 416 Canadian dollars, which when, adding the maple syrup tax and other markups, the 3060 should be selling for around $500, but I'm certain they will be selling for well beyond that, which goes back to what I said. You can buy a new GPU, but don't expect to pay a fair price for it. Now, just looking at some of these pictures, one thing I'll say is that it looks like there's a decent amount of stock there. Of course, it still won't be nearly enough to meet the crazy high demand, but this particular store seems to have several cards of various models from different AIBs. It looks like this shipment they received seems larger than what we had seen from other GPU launches in the series. Like hearing those times when people lined up for RTX 3070s or 3080s on launch day and being told from stores that they only had a measly, 5 cards in stock, or worse, they had no cards on launch day, was indeed disappointing to see. So hey, if you're looking to purchase an RTX 3060, you might just have a slightly higher chance of finally being able to buy one on launch, but I'm expecting a good chunk of those GPUs to end up selling on eBay for $1,000. I hope you guys found this video to be informative and helpful. Let me know your thoughts down below. Check out the video description on ways to support the channel and for my other videos. If you guys are interested in more content like this, then make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.